Yeah, that's kind of what I figure. So, you ready to get rolling?
Mm-hmm.
Welcome, Earthlings, to this latest episode of the Wreak Havoc Film Buffs podcast. I'm your host, Dan Sellers, along with my Warlock co-host,
Warlock,
Mr.
Sammie Castle.
I would have said Witch, because of the film we're watching today, but really Witch doesn't apply to the film either.
No, it doesn't.
So,
No, it doesn't.
and also, you're not a woman, so we're going to go with Warlock today.
Not the last time I checked.
We're talking about Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, the third installment in the still going strong Halloween franchise.
Very much still going strong.
And we're going to talk about that here in a little bit, too. Stronger than ever, because it features the Warlock himself in this upcoming iteration.
That was so funny. Zach, before he posted in the messenger, he sent me a text, and he's like, Jesus Christ, I fly all the way to freaking Las Vegas to watch a movie, and the movie comes on, and the first damn thing I see is Sammie's head. And I was like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. I look at that as a good thing.
Oh, okay, that's great. Yeah, we Sammie has we
hope.
Yeah, we won't really know until we get in theaters and see it, but part in Halloween Kills, the upcoming installment. So we'll get into that in just a little bit. What's been going on with you? We had the latest workshop.
Oh my God! Since the last time we did a podcast.
Yeah, what's happened over the last 6 months?
Let's see. We have. What have we done? God Almighty! With Sammie the Comic Book Man workshop, artisan.
That's the most recent thing.
Young Artisan Writers Workshop was last Saturday,
now,
September 11th.
This is what, 5th year?
Yes, fifth year.
Fifth year.
I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. I don't think it was as good, but I think it still has a lot to do with COVID, and there's still a lot of people worried about going out. But Lisa and I talked about it, and we had to have it this year.
Yeah.
Because we was worried if we took another year off that it was just going to die away.
Yeah.
So we pressed forward and did it anyway. We had some new guests, met a new contributor to the Sammie group, I guess, with Robert Soul, I think is how you pronounce his name. I don't know. We'll have to discuss. He and I have to discuss that later. But I found him kind of on a whim, just posting, looking for somebody to do, because I'd lost 2 people for the workshop, 2 artists to COVID. So I was like, man, I'm starting to get kind of thin here, and nobody really wanted to do it. And nobody wanted to travel. And I was like, well, I need somebody. And I put a thing out, and this guy was like, hey, I'd be interested in doing it. So he stepped up, and Robert was good. And come find out he's an artist and a writer.
That's awesome.
And a cool guy. So he brought his daughter, and she hung out, and we had a good time. It's always something. Something magical always happens. And his daughter probably provided the magic that day. I told them they all had to draw me a picture. So I walked by, and she's drawing a picture of a vase with flowers in it, and the flowers are kind of drooping. I was like, wonder what she's up to. And then across the top of it, it said, Curse of the White Room, I think, across the top of the flowers. So I asked her, and she's like 10. 11, something like that. I said, well, what does the Curse of the White Room mean? She launched into a story that she had made up off the top of her head.
Wow.
And it was awesome. I had something about the rooms all being adjacent to each other, but there were different sizes. So if you got stuck in a room, then you couldn't get out, and because the room changed and all that kind of stuff.
That's pretty cool. Talk about inspiring some creativity. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you had some really amazing original art pieces here that range from a really cool Spider Woman to a butt.
Yeah, and it's with that stuff, I have a whole stack of original art, and one of those kids someday is going to be famous.
Oh, sure.
And I'm going to be like, hey, I have an original piece from when they were 6, or something like that.
And whether you believe it or not, you will have helped shape and mold that creativity at an early stage.
Yeah, which is kind of the whole goal.
It's pretty cool.
And if I get there was a girl there that it was her first time there, and her and Chad struck up a friendship. And she was an artist. She was the one that drew the girl with the big hair. And Chad said she's been emailing him pretty regularly.
That's cool.
What kind of pencils do you use, and that kind of stuff, just kind of art questions.
Yeah.
So to see, that's the kind of stuff. Years ago, I did one of the talks, and I came back and Di said, "Well, how was it?" And I was like, "Oh, I didn't like it. They put me up on a stage, and I didn't feel like I connected with the kids.
Really interact, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just I didn't like it at all. I don't felt like it come off very good, and I was so kind of dejected." And she said, "Look, if you do one of those things, if you reach one kid, that's all that matters."
Sure.
And I was like, yeah, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
So. That's kind of the way I go into it. Like I did a talk at Front Porch Fest, which is a music festival / arts and entertainment thing, and they had an arts and entertainment tent. And someone there contacted me and said, "Hey, we have a bunch of kids just running around here. We're trying to give them stuff to do. Would you come to a Sammie talk?" I show up. There's 5 kids. That's it. But you know what? 3 of those 5 kids were completely engaged.
Yeah.
They were asking questions. They were talking about comic books, and so
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Very cool.
So yeah.
I'm glad that's still going. I mean, that's like you said, it'd be easy just to stop doing it, but I mean, it's
and I've been contacted. Reynolds Homestead, where we have the workshop, is owned by Virginia Tech, and they have a network of places like that. I've been contacted by other people in the network now, wanting me to come do workshops at their places.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's cool. Then, since I haven't done a talk except for Front Porch Fest since the pandemic started, but I had a school reach out to me last week. I was like, hey, let's set something up.
If you keep doing this, we're going to have to make a sequel, right?
To the documentary?
Yeah.
That'd be
Sammie the
kinda
Comic
weird.
Man, Part 2. Electric Boogaloo.
It's kind of weird for a documentary to have a part 2.
Yeah, a couple of them have done it, but not,
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. We've got a few things coming up. Most notably, the Wreak Havoc Horror Film Festival, October 1st and 2nd at Marketplace Cinemas in Winston-Salem, where we were last year. And I'm pretty excited about this year's lineup, especially including the world premiere of our new film, Birthday Boy.
Yep.
Which is written and produced by Al Julian, produced by Sammie and I, and directed by yours truly. And yeah, this is our not our biggest movie, but our most expensive movie so far.
Yeah.
So it's been a little bit of a change pace for us. So I'm very excited for audiences to see that one.
I can't wait to see it on the big screen.
Yeah,
it's one of the. It's the movie I've had the least amount to do with, which is kind of weird.
It's kind of weird.
But I was so busy with other stuff.
Oh, I know.
Where were we?
You were at a con that.
Yeah, I was at Con Carolinas.
Yeah,
representing us.
So we'll talk a little bit more about that later, but be sure to check out RehabitHorrorFilmFest.com.
Yes, absolutely. We got some good stuff this year.
Oh yeah, it's going to be wonderful. So come on down. Also, our other podcast, Carolina Haints, is just coming back for its 5th season. which I'm pretty excited about. As we're recording this episode, the 5th season just started today, and
it inspired us to do a recap of Film Buffs, which we haven't done in a while.
We got to do one, yeah. And the book is coming out October 26th. Jeff Cochran, the co-writer, and I, who's been on the show a million times, who's one of our 2 listeners of this show. One
of the 2.
We'll be going. Hey Steve. Hey Jeff. We'll be going we will be going around and reading parts of the book to people and signing autographs and stuff like that. So our first book event is on the 26th of October in Wilmington at Old Books on Front Street. And then October 30th, we will be in Danbury, the Arts Place of Stokes.
Nice.
Yeah, so we look forward to meeting with people there. The one in Danbury is going to be more of a multimedia event, so we'll have like a little video to show for Halloween, too. So that'll be pretty cool.
Cool.
Yeah. I got to get to work on that.
I can advertise that at the store.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, that's true. Yeah, mm-hmm. Warlock Cove. And we've got a few more places up our sleeves that we're still working on, but things aren't 100% on board yet. So
and in conjunction with Horror Movie Freaks, since they're doing
Chatterbox.
They're showing Chatterbox. Thank you. Thinking's hard today.
Yeah, they are showing Chatterbox. We're very excited for that, and I hope it's not too premature to announce. We will be rescreening a new cut of Chatterbox at the film festival this year, so I'm excited for that. So we got to get to work on that.
Out of my range there, not my lane.
All right, we are going to unless you got something else you want to talk about, we'll get into our movie.
Well, let's talk about real quick. Zach and I are flying out to San Francisco today.
Nice.
To represent Wreak Havoc and for Spirit of the Cinema, which is Zach's newest film, newest short, which is a drama.
Wonderful little movie.
We're proud of it.
Very proud.
It's very good.
Produced by Sammie and I and Zach, and it'll bring a tear to your eye. I mean, I enjoy watching it, and I can't wait for audiences in San Francisco to see it, and I can't wait for our audiences to see it at the film festival.
Yes.
So.
I'm excited about it. The places it's screened, we've gotten very good reviews. We were trying to go to Virginia this week for Loudon, where it was accepted at. Hey, Wendy.
Yeah, hey, Wendy.
Wendy Keeling and her crew up there. But
a great film festival.
Yeah, and they've had a good turnout, and the feedback from them about Spirit has been phenomenal.
Really?
So, yeah.
Cool. Very good. Well, I will say, because I doubt you'll hear Sammie brag about himself here, but his performance, he's one of the leading actors in Spirit of the Cinema, is I would say remarkable. I really enjoy watching you do a more dramatic role. Which is really out of your norm.
Way out of my norm.
It's great to see people break out of their norm.
Yeah.
And do stretch a little bit and do something different. So
it's we joked about that with Countdown to Midnight. Not Countdown, Midnight Shift.
Yeah.
With me being a little less dramatic.
A little different.
Yeah. And so, I mean, we joked about it a lot, and it was something I really started thinking about. I was like, I kind of want to challenge myself a little bit.
Yeah.
So I had to kind of lobby for this spot in Spirit a little bit.
Oh, it wasn't written for you at all.
Yeah. And he did use a spray bottle on me.
Act better.
No, it was like, quit being Sammie. Mike Burke laughs about it all the time.
So that's why you look sweaty throughout the film.
Well, no, I mean that was kind of the point. Was I'm upstairs and
That's
hot.
true. You're hot. Yeah.
Yeah, so he would spray me. He would spray me down pretty regularly. But that became the running joke: was quit being so much Sammie and spray me down.
Oh, that's great.
So, I'm proud of it. I'm proud of the film. And I was like, the first time I saw it, I turned and looked at Di and I went, "Huh? Who knew?" And she was like, "Well, that's the best thing y'all made." I went, "Well, thank you."
Very good. Well, let's get into our film. We're watching Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Now, you might be asking, why? Because this is one of those films where you either love it or hate it. I don't know anyone who's in the middle of this film. I fall in the love it camp. Now, I'm also a huge fan of the Halloween franchise in general. Now, there's a couple of those films that I hate.
Oh, yeah.
They're terrible.
Yeah.
But I love Michael Myers. I love Haddonfield. I love Laurie Strode. I love the whole everything. Mm-hmm. But this can also exist. You know, it doesn't have to. It's you know, to me, it's kind of like you hear people with this whole Star Trek versus Star Wars debate. You can like both. Mm-hmm. You can like both. I like both. You don't have to pick. A lot of people seem to have this idea of, oh, well, they really fumbled the ball here with Halloween 3. They screwed up. They should, you know.
I mean, okay. So the big thing was that spoiler, it doesn't have Michael Myers in it.
Well, technically he makes an appearance on screen, but he's not in the film.
Yeah. But from what I've read, that was kind of Carpenter's original idea, was that 2 was supposed to be like this, that it was supposed to be a whole different story. Yeah, a whole different story each time, almost an anthology set of movies. But Halloween made so much money and was so iconic that they just rolled right into 2 instead. Yeah,
it was huge, and Carpenter wrote Halloween 2, I believe. I want to say he produced it as well, just like this one. But I did not direct it, and I really I think they kind of forced him. They muscled him into making Halloween 2 with Michael Myers, which is really a continuation of the same night, which is, I think, the way to do it. And I'll be honest with you, I don't dislike Halloween 2. I like it a lot.
Well, I mean, the first 20 minutes is the last 20 minutes of 1.
Yeah.
So.
And it's a little bit of a continuation there, and you see the rest the next night or the same night in the hospital. I really like it, but I think for John Carpenter, this was getting back on track.
Yeah,
this was trying to hit the reset button, and go, this is what we were supposed to do. You know, the first movie was a boogeyman slasher. The second one was supposed to be, you know, this weird magical.
Yeah,
I can't. This movie's hard to describe.
You can't. I don't
can't really put it in a box. I'm pretty sure there's no witch in it.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I mean, it's like you've got Irish mysticism, you got robots, you got killer magical masks, you got Stonehenge. There's a lot of weird shit going on here. It's like.
Did Carpenter write this too?
So he's not credited as a screenwriter, but it's well known that he rewrote a draft completely in it. So it's basically Carpenter's script, but he's not credited.
Okay. Tom Lee Wallace is the director. Is actually,
from my understanding, another guy and Carpenter basically wrote it, but for the way it worked out, Tommy Lee Wallace got the writing credit.
Gotcha.
Directing credit. So we're opening here in Northern California, which probably works better if you're going to make a film in California. Let's set it in California, unlike the first Halloween, where it's filmed in California, takes place in Illinois. So this is a little bit easier, I guess. You got this guy running for his life here from somebody. We don't know who.
The first thing that I notice about this movie, though, and this doesn't happen with me very often because, I'm not segmented like you guys.
I know what you're going to say.
Is the score. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like...
It's very Carpenter.
Close to Halloween, but
Yeah.
not Halloween. It's definitely John Carpenter.
It's very Carpenter. It sounds like a lot of his other scores of that era.
But I think that was the idea was for him was he was trying to get close to Halloween without doing Halloween.
Have a little bit of continuity with it. And the new movies are the same way. He does the score for the new movies.
Yeah,
he's not writer director, but he's still heavily involved. Can you see this?
I mean, that's dude showing some strength there.
Again, like I said, there's so many things so many elements mixed together in this movie. And I love what you have here. Essentially, you don't really understand at first, but you have killer robots in this film.
Wonder how heavily, I had never thought about it until just now. Wonder how influenced this movie was by Westworld.
Very probably.
Is this Carpenter going, we need a horror Westworld?
I don't know who came up with this idea because I believe there were several different versions of what the next Halloween iteration should be. Mm-hmm. And I know there were totally different scripts for other stories, I think. As a matter of fact, the director, Joe Dante, was the initial director for this film. But it was a different story, too. And so they, when they lost him, they I think they lost the script first, and then he left with the script. And they retooled and did something totally different. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you know, this gas station is also in The Fog.
Yeah, I thought it looked familiar. That would explain.
It does look very familiar. I'm a huge fan of The Fog.
Yeah,
like
and if you, obviously that's Tommy Lee Wallace and Tom Atkins again.
Yeah.
So you use what you know and what you can.
Oh yeah, and these guys, late 70s, early 80s, worked together a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Carpenter, Atkins, Wallace, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh, what year was 82? So
82.
This was after The Fog.
Yeah, this is the next year, I believe. Or
Okay.
Fog was 80.
The freaking commercial gets on my nerves. After about the first, they beat you to death with this commercial.
Yeah.
The Silver Shamrock Novelties commercial.
In a few weeks, this will be my ringtone on my phone.
Oh,
So
God.
when you call, this is what you're going to hear.
For me, probably.
It's
Well, that's good. I'll never have to hear it.
That's true. It's set to London Bridge tune because it's in the public domain. You can do that. We've done that before.
What? Never.
We've leached from the public domain.
Never.
We're going to skip ahead a little bit to the hospital where we're introduced to Dr. Well, let's stop here and look at he just bought his kids some Halloween masks from Silver Shamrock. And they, again, just like you said, we get beat over the head with this commercial. Here it is again. Within the first 10 minutes of the film.
I don't know if they're trying to just hammer it home that this commercial has some impact.
I don't know. I think that they're showing you early on that the commercial is kind of pervasive and it's constantly playing. Mm-hmm. And then when you realize how evil the commercial is, that it makes more sense.
Yeah.
So Tom Atkins playing Dr. David Chalice in the hospital, who's an ER doctor. I'm going to the kill.
It's such a weird kill.
This is such a weird and.
I mean, you think, he balls up his fist. Okay, so for those of you who haven't seen it, it's a guy in a hospital bed, and this guy,
The robot
guy comes in, and he puts his hand over the guy's mouth, and then he holds his hand up like he's going to make a fist and punch him, but instead he just holds his nose closed.
Oh, no, he sticks his fingers in his eyes and rearranges his eye sockets and pulls up his nose and all that.
Oh, well, I wonder where all the blood come from, but that's not very evident.
No,
Even on the big screen, it looks like he's just holding his nose closed.
It's a little dark.
See if I can a lot of Tom Atkins running around.
A lot of screaming, a lot of running.
Yeah.
Can't find it.
Because it looks like he just pinches his nose closed. Okay.
So he fucks him up pretty good. Yep. I'm going to punch you.
I'm going to punch you.
No, I changed my mind. I'm just going to stick my fingers
so you
in
even
your
close.
eyeballs.
Oh, he even closes his eyes. That's what kind of. Okay, that makes more sense.
This is such a weird way to kill somebody.
But I mean, it looks. My first look last night, it looked like he just held his nose, and then I thought, well, he broke his nose. But yeah, I guess that explains where the blood. But see, you can't even see any blood on the eyes.
Yeah.
They don't do very good explaining that.
It's not very clear.
Not a very clear kill there.
I like it.
Other than it's a tied in with the. And they spend way too long showing this guy wiping the blood off on that shower curtain, not shower curtain, but curtain.
So then the killer, who we find out later is a killer robot, excuses himself out into the parking lot with
just
a gas
walks
can.
out.
Well, Tom's chasing him out. He pours gasoline all over himself and just lights up.
Blow it up. Looks like the same car they used in 2 for the kids.
Dr. Looms' car.
Well, yeah, but no, there was.
The guy gets hit by the car.
Yeah. The kid wearing the
Dressed in
Michael Myers
Myers.
mask. Yeah. Because I watched 2 the other night. I watched 1 earlier this week or last week.
Well, we did an episode on the original Halloween a couple of years ago, right?
Yep. Episode something or other.
Yeah, episode something. Go back and check it out. It was a good one.
I forgot we'd done it too. I asked Dan, I said, you want to do Halloween? He's like, we already done it.
You got 3 films named Halloween now. You got to take your pick. All right, we'll skip ahead a little bit to the town of, what is it, Santa Mira? I'm not sure. I'm sure they'll say it.
It says it on the sign as they're driving into town.
Home of the Silver Shamrock Company. Now, Tom Atkins, the doctor, has teamed up with the dead guy's daughter because she wants to know what happened to her dad.
The dynamic between him and the daughter is so funny.
And they immediately start screwing.
Yeah, I mean, just like, they've probably traveled a couple of hours in a car together, but other than that, they've just really met.
Yeah.
And, they'll show here in a minute, they get in the hotel room, and the first thing he does is like, hey, I'm going to kiss you.
You can't underestimate the power of that mustache there. Okay.
Porn stash.
He's basically the cheap man's version of Kurt Russell. When Carpenter can't get Russell to star in his film, he gets Tom Atkins, and he does a pretty good job, I think. And he's same way in The Fog. He picks up Jamie Lee, who's like 20 years younger than him, on the side of the road, and like an hour they're in bed together.
Santa Mira is the name of it.
Okay. You hear something crazy about Tom Atkins? 85.
Oh my God, is he? Jesus.
I know, right? I started looking it up on IMDb. I was thinking 70? I don't know, 70?
85.
85.
I mean, that makes him, he was, what, in his 50s here?
He's old here, yeah.
Yeah. And hooking up with the hot young girl.
And she can't be more than like 22. She looks like...
I had her pulled up just a few minutes ago. Well, last night I looked. Stacey Nelkin.
Mm-hmm.
No, she's She's 52. So, I mean, there's still 30 years difference between them.
Yeah, 85 and 52. That's pretty good.
No, hang on. She's older than that. 62.
Okay. That's what, 23 years?
Yeah. Had a birthday last week. Happy birthday, Stacy.
Happy birthday, Stacy.
I'm sure you'll hear this.
You're great in this film.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're listening.
Not. Lord, you know what her greatest accomplishment was? Being married to Barry Bostwick.
Oh, that probably would be an accomplishment.
Because that dude is freaky. That's Zach.
Yeah, let's call up Zach.
Hey, how was Barry Bostwick?
So, according to IMDb trivia, the actress who plays Marge Gutman is Tom Atkins' real life wife.
Oh.
Yeah. Or was at the time.
Yeah.
She's got a pretty creepy.
So then he goes inside and kisses the young girl.
The younger, more attractive woman.
After he traded her in for a newer model.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I like the
She
little.
made an appearance in Fringe.
I like the little back and forth here, where I want to say she seduces him. Okay, I'm going to just say that.
She seduces him?
I'm going to say that. Yeah.
Okay. One of those old school hotels.
He's like, what do you want to do?
Maybe I ought to get another room.
That would look sort of suspicious, wouldn't it?
What I mean is, if you'd feel more comfortable, I could sleep in the car. Be better on this floor anyway.
Where do you want to sleep, Dr. Chalice?
And that look. Like, hey.
It's a dumb question, Miss Greenbridge.
This turned into a soap opera.
It's turned into a porno.
Yeah.
Is what it.
Get it, Tom.
Yeah.
30 years younger. Go, boy, go.
You taste like my dad.
Ooh. Yuck.
My dad's got that same
In
cologne.
this weird town. This
very
weird
weird
Irish town.
On the Northern California.
Yeah.
Which is basically a mill town that's been taken over by this company.
Yeah.
Like they rule the roost here.
Yeah.
Big time. They impose a curfew. This company is like the town government. They just
Just do what they want to
They
do.
tell you got to
What
be
if there's
in.
really a town like that where the company just takes over?
There
Stewart
were
at Walmart, maybe?
There were yeah, that's funny. There were plenty of towns that really were just built up around mills.
Oh yeah,
And-
like the town that's covered in Aaron Brockovich with the
chemical
not the chemical,
company
the
or-
electric company had built.
PG&E or something.
Yeah.
A lot of these old companies, not only would they provide the homes for their workers to live in, they would pay them in their own currency. So like if you would get paid in like silver shamrock bucks, and you'd have to spend those silver shamrock bucks at the silver shamrock grocery store, which is insane way to live. Yes.
I bet there's nothing like it anymore.
No.
Although maybe there should. Unions.
Okay, we'll skip ahead of here a little bit.
Unions have been. Oh well, just land right in the middle of the sex scene. There you go.
If I
Dan.
don't mind.
There you go. That's good timing.
Yeah, so Samuel was telling me before we started that he hadn't seen this movie in a long, long time. I've seen this movie probably 3 times this year.
Oh really?
Because, I hate to say this, my kids love this movie.
Do they really?
Yes, but I have to skip through the sex scenes. So I never see the sex scenes of this film. But
Gotcha.
It's one of the...
won't let your young daughters watch these sex scenes?
She doesn't know that the girl's watching with me. That's
Spoiler.
This is one of the few horror films that I can put on that I have that's not like overtly I don't know. Like, I have a problem with my kids watching someone get stabbed to death.
Yeah.
But I don't have a problem with watching a lightning bolt come out of a piece of plastic that zaps them in the face. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
like that's just silly. You know what I mean? It's not silly, but it's not. A child could watch it and understand that's not real. You know? You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Says the father of the daughter who says, hey, Uncle Sammie had a girl tied to a chair and recreated it.
Yes. And that could really happen. That may have really happened.
This is such a weird
Yes.
special effects.
Yeah. It's nasty.
I mean, it's nasty, but what the hell? Why would a lightning bolt wouldn't do that? And where the hell did the
It's
bug come
magic, Sammy.
from? Oh, okay.
It's magic. Celtic.
It's magic.
Celtic magic.
Celtic.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, it's a good face. It's a good.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good prosthetic.
And that was my kids' questions. Like when the kid puts the mask on and watches the commercial, they're like, why are snakes and bugs and spiders crawling out of his head? I'm like, look, it's magic. Don't ask. Quit too many questions here. Because does it make sense? No.
So, how much trouble would I get in if I bought your kids Halloween 3 masks for Christmas or for Halloween?
No trouble. Matter of fact, I'd probably display them in my office and be like, yeah, Sammy, they're wearing them. Hey, but see, here's the problem. My kids would put the mask on and then turn the commercial on YouTube and sit here and watch. Dun, 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 dun. They'd be like, nothing's happening, Daddy.
All these weird doctors that aren't actually doctors.
Yeah, we don't know if they're human or what.
Yeah. And the way, and in retrospect, once you're done, you kind of like the way they're moving. Don't worry, it'll be okay.
So we get Mr. Cochran, the head honcho of Silver Shamrock. Dan O'Hurley, I think, is this actor, who basically plays the same guy in RoboCop, who's the CEO of the evil corporation. So I told you my kids like this movie. They swear to God they saw him in a restaurant one time and it freaked them out. They said, "Daddy, that's the guy from Halloween 3."
That's so funny.
No, I don't think. I think they said that's the Silver Shamrock guy. So I'm gonna find a clip here if I can.
And this is this is, I don't know, is that kind of the first time we get well, I mean, I don't guess it's the first time we get an inkling that something really weird's going on in this town, but it's kind of
the audience knows.
Yeah.
I think they are starting to realize,
Yeah.
oh shit, something's really bad here. I'm going to play a little scene. This is a movie that we haven't talked. We may end up doing an episode on it at some point. Let's see. I think this would work. So here's a film that was pretty heavily inspired by Halloween 3 and a couple other films with killer robots.
Just kicked his head around.
This is the World's End. This is the bathroom fight scene, which, spoiler alert, there are killer robots in this movie. Which is a really funny and really action-packed sci-fi end of the world type.
I love the headphones around his neck.
The headphones are still there.
But there's no head. Dun dun dun.
So you got a whole room full of guys that are Sammy's age, and then 5 more kids come in who are like 18, and they get into a big brawl.
Zip. Crawl around and hide.
Occupied.
Get him, Simon Pegg. Oh, God. And the guy from the Marvel.
Martin Freeman.
Yeah.
It's got a good cast.
It's a long fight scene.
It is.
Well, I mean, there's multiple characters, so. I don't know how you're going to beat robots, so.
Yeah.
Have y'all not seen Terminator? Well, I guess that made sense. Cut him in half with
Just beat the crap out of him.
Just the arms attacking.
Unlike the robots in Halloween 3, these robots, they break and they just bleed blue like ink or something.
He broke it. Oh, God. It's a Dusty Rhodes elbow drop. I'm going to beat you to death with your own arms.
We talked
That's
about
a
Hot
joke.
Fuzz on this show. This is the third in that Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz. This is the World's End's the third one.
Just for the record, the old guys won.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Okay. All right, back to Halloween.
Had to get a Edgar Wright Simon Pegg thing in.
That's right. All right, let's skip ahead to.
But they were getting ready to get it on again, weren't they?
Were they?
I don't know.
No.
Probably.
Again, I don't get to watch that part at home.
So you're just used to skipping through it.
So they're on a tour of the facility, pretending to be like costume retailers or something.
My apologies for that little bit of a disturbance last night, but I want you both to know.
And I don't know, what was the guy in the suit? They were buying something, or
He's like one of the major.
he's the best selling. He's the highest selling mask guy. or
the
something.
salesman. Yeah.
Yeah, he sold more masks than anybody else.
For
So.
you absolutely free. The whole thing's on me.
He's a smooth talking.
She needs to sell her Joy a little bit better. She's like, I'm freaked out with this guy. Why is he? And nobody pays any attention.
If you'd like to.
We'd love to.
Well, there's the turn.
He's a
Hey, I'm
smooth
getting
talker.
boned by a guy 30 years older than me, so. And now we have a lesson in making foam latex mask in a mold.
I gotta admit, they're pretty cool masks.
That release is pretty good.
I like all three of them. They're pretty good.
Yeah, the mask is cool. Doesn't Matt have a whole set?
I think he does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matt Patterson, our friend of the show, who we recorded the Friday the 13th episode in his living room, and he's got all three masks
He
just proudly
loves this
displayed.
movie.
I know. I hate we
Loves
don't have him on as a guest.
Loves this movie. Hey, Matt. Tom Savini
yeah.
School.
Hope you're listening.
Oh, I bet he does once he figures out we're talking about Halloween 3.
We're probably getting all the facts wrong, and he's at home going, "Those assholes."
Yeah. I don't know. Have we given any facts?
I don't know. Probably not.
Probably not. Now we've turned into the Willy Wonka house.
That's a good way to look at it.
With
He's kind
horror.
of like the Irish horror, Willy Wonka. Instead of Oompa Loompas, he's got robots.
Just trying to see what masks were in the lineup of masks. That would have been a good place to put a Michael Myers mask.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead to where their kid puts on the mask.
Indian animatronics.
So
That is a bright orange.
I want a mask. Can I have a mask?
That's what I had in mind for you, little buddy.
I want that one.
Oh, no.
we're gonna give you a special mask.
Those masks have been through final processing.
Final processing.
This one is.
She's looking around for a place for them to have sex.
There you are. Wonderful.
Don't ask me.
I don't care. It's entertaining the children.
That's like final solution. I meant final processing.
Bright green. Somebody remade these a while back.
Hey, Mr. Cochran, just what is the final process?
Sure, it's just a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
A few pieces of stone hinge.
And of course,
We're not doing anything weird here.
All right, so let's skip ahead to where they've caught Dr. Chalice breaking in, and they realize, oh, he's a threat, and so they're gonna kind of like a James Bond movie. The evil villain's gonna let him in on their evil plan.
Ha 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 ha. You'll never get away, so here I'm going to tell you my whole plan.
Which is a great trope. I hope we're able to do sometime in a movie. Before I kill you, I'm going to tell you all the details of my evil plan and give you a way to possibly get out of it and stop me. So you don't really get a sense as to how evil everything is until this scene.
Yeah.
And we're 2/3 of the way through the film.
Yeah.
So the kid's got the mask on. It's been through final processing, and he's glued in front of the television set with this commercial on, and it's obviously fucking with him. Even the outside of the mask starts to look more deteriorated. And, oh god,
It looks more like a real pumpkin.
yeah, it does. Uh-oh, something's wrong with Timmy.
What? Uh-oh. Those bugs come out of him. Creep show.
Yeah,
There's crickets, roaches, giant worms, snakes.
now Dad's freaked out. So this kid is messed up.
But they're not seeing any of this, are they?
Who?
The people in the... That's a rattlesnake.
They're watching it on the
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right, because they're in a...
like an observation room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rattlesnake's about to get Dad.
Damn pumpkin.
I love Mr. Cochran's evil look on his face while Tom Atkins is just reacting to the horrific sight. So this is bad enough, but the plan is to do it every household in America, which is pretty cool.
There was, I mean, it's kind of a weird
Cool
acting
plan.
job by Tom Atkins. Is
Yeah.
it meant to that it's affecting him some too, or is he just
I think
distraught?
I think he's just distraught. It's like it's so horrific what he's
Yeah,
seeing.
it
Can't
doesn't
stand it.
seems like he's more being affected by it than he is distraught. Come on, Tom, step up your game. Stonehenge.
Yes. So I think, and we played over it. I think there's a new segment that says parts of Stonehenge were stolen
Yeah.
earlier in the film, and now we're starting to see parts of it in the secret lair, which kind of makes you wonder how hard would it be to steal parts of Stonehenge if you had to.
You should have done that in Haddonfield, Illinois.
I don't say a thing. Why not Haddonfield?
Yeah. That was just kind of a big throwback thing. I guess maybe Carpenter was trying to distance himself.
That's my
Or
figure.
Tommy Lee Wallace was trying to distance himself for...
So you've got this montage of shots from all over the country, but it's all actually in California.
montage.
It all looks like the same place, but it's yeah.
Loved that last clown.
Uh-huh.
That was a good costume.
Yeah.
That kid was going to be saved too, because it's not a Silver Springs costume.
Oh yeah. It's 1982 Halloween costumes.
This was not like no. This was high end costumes for 1982
They
because
look
we
nice.
had the
Well, they're
plastic
movie.
Ben Cooper mask.
Yeah.
I guess maybe this was the first kind of latex mask pullover kind of stuff. Still used to this day. Latex, not Ben Cooper.
Got to go to Spirit Halloween to get those now.
I hadn't been by Spirit this year.
I don't know if they're open yet. I'm going though if it is.
Oh yeah.
Kids also love going to Spirit.
Yes.
They go in,
they do.
I make them stand there on the spot, and something comes out and gets them, and they scream bloody terror in the middle of the store.
And they love it. And they
do.
it.
Oh, yeah, the doctor back home at the hospital, you think she's safe? Nah. Robot gets her.
Well, I mean, robots get everybody.
Uh-oh, power drill.
There's a power drill just happened to be laying in the middle of a
doctor's
office.
Don't ever just have a cordless power drill laying on the countertop in your exam room.
You would think that they would have quite a bit of money to make on this movie because it's Halloween. You know, it's part of a franchise.
Yeah.
They don't do, except for the face with the woman with the.
You don't see that much gore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, really, even with the bugs and the snakes, you never see the gore. It's mostly implied. I actually thought that was a really cool kill because you didn't see it, but the sound effects and her reaction to it was actually pretty cool. But yeah, think how cheap that effect is compared to.
Oh yeah. I mean,
you know.
I get it, but you would think a big budget.
So this film had a $2.5 million budget, and it's considered a wild failure, even though it made like $14 million. I call that a success to me.
I mean, if you only spent 2.5 and you made 14, that's pretty good.
Pretty damn good. But when you're talking about the original Halloween, made a ton of money.
Well, yeah,
that. But I think audiences, generally speaking, wanted Michael Myers.
And if you did 2.5, it probably double that for marketing, so 4.5. So I mean, you still made $10 million on the movie.
I think,
but I mean, you producing wise, you got some big names on this.
Oh yeah,
Mustafa Akkad, was tied to
Dino De
Halloween.
Laurentiis.
Yeah, Dino De Laurentiis, Deborah Hill. John Carpenter's longtime production partner. And, Dino was kind of a surprise that I didn't realize he was involved in it, but it was uncredited too. Let me tell you my plan.
Let me show you how Stonehenge works.
This very easily could have been the Wicker Man.
Which,
we could have put you on.
Am I wrong? Stonehenge is in England, right?
Yes.
Not in Ireland.
Right.
Okay. I just want to get that straight.
It's semantics, Dan.
It's Europe.
It's
Europe.
They're all part of the same island. It's a united kingdom.
That's right.
They were united for this brief amount of time.
I just wanted to make sure we're on the same page because
The world's going to change tonight, Doctor.
Picked a skull mask for him.
those are some cool masks.
Yeah.
And he turns on Halloween for him to watch.
Yeah. They do that a couple times.
They do. They watch it or there's a commercial for it in the bar.
Yep.
So I think this is Halloween night, right?
Happy Halloween.
I would hope so.
Now,
and the Halloween music.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. Way to throw the theme in there.
Yep.
Which is a way for it to make sense.
The side theme, not the the other slow burn thing.
Yeah.
Maybe it's meant to come from the TV? I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. I think but it works really well in the scene.
It's going to start at 8 o'clock. You have to watch all of Halloween 1 and then a commercial comes on.
It's not a bad way to die. I mean, I'd sit there and watch Halloween when I'm not dying.
I don't want to die, though.
At least you're not...
So, are the robots powered by Stonehenge? Or
I think so. I think all of this Celtic magic is powered by Stonehenge.
Or is the town?
I don't know.
Everything's influenced by Stonehenge.
I think the key to this film is not trying to understand it.
I feel like I should
much.
be playing Spinal Tap.
Tiny little Stonehenge.
Yes. I think the problem was our Stonehenge was in danger of being trampled by a midget. Oh, sorry, little person.
That's one we need to do on the show sometime.
And such an 80s kind of evil lab with TVs and
Yeah.
All
modern
wearing
labs
that
don't have
business
all
suit,
that
yeah.
stuff on it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny because now real labs probably have. Was he tied up with film?
Looks like a seatbelt to me. I don't know.
Looked like film to begin with.
I don't know what it is. Looks like a. That's a hell of a
man,
throw.
what a throw.
Man.
Hands,
Especially not to have your arms
hands tied up, and you just flick your wrist and
flick it.
throw a mask on top of a camera sitting up in the corner.
I imagine someone in the movie theater just stood up and walked out.
So Tom Atkins has two magical powers: the power to throw a mask perfectly onto a camera, and the power to seduce women 30 years
Sleep
younger
with
than
anyone.
him. Yep. I hear you, Tom.
Tell you, man, it's the mustache.
This is the Celtic magic.
It is.
It can be used for good as well.
This film is missing Leprechaun, I think. That was the only thing that could have made this film better.
Oh,
was
crossover. That would be pretty good.
yeah, crossover event.
Wait, what time? That took 21 minutes, according to the clock.
Well, we only see him throw the mask one time. He could have actually thrown it multiple times.
But how's he going to pick it up from the floor? His hands are tied. How did he get it untied?
Don't
from
think
the...
about it too much. It's too much.
Jesus, man.
You can't think about these things too much.
Oh my God. Proverbial escape through the air conditioning.
Yeah, very.
That's the reason
Very
they make
80s.
air conditioners really small, air conditioner vents really small now.
So you don't die in an air
so you
conditioning
don't-
event.
Yeah, so everybody's not trying to escape. their
Everyone wants to
work.
play John McClane.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling. Goodbye.
Yippee-ki-yay.
Thank you for calling. Goodbye.
Sir, malfunction. Camera 2.
It's not a malfunction, it's a mask.
Who do you think he's gone, sir?
He's escaped.
It doesn't
we
look
do?
good.
And he holds up the grid for the
They're not the best robots, okay?
back
This is like
robot is like holds up the grid. And
They
says,
run on
"Look,
the original
this is where he
Windows."
went. Well, fucking go chase him.
these things run on the original Windows, okay? They're not that the processing power is not that fast.
Oh, talk about some exposition. Hey, crowd, y'all don't understand what exactly happened here? Here's the mask. Here's the vent grid, even though we've already seen him crawl through the vent.
Again, more Tom Atkins just running. Set the creepy music.
Yeah. That sounds vaguely familiar. This is a Dan Sellers joint. Let's remake this.
I'd remake this.
With me as the evil Irish guy, and I'll do a terrible Irish accent, the Southern Irish, and Justin Cole as Tom Atkins, make him grow a porn star stash.
He's way too young and good looking to play
okay. So
this guy. We need
somebody who would be a good example, not Tom Gore.
I was about to say, I know Tom's going to want it, but if we had to cast this, he'd
Yeah.
be beating down the door.
Yep.
I have to get rid of the mask. The silver shamrock.
I mean, they've sold these things all across the country. How do you do at it? How do you get rid of the mask?
Good question.
No, we haven't received.
Oh, they just happen to be watching the one camera that he's.
Drunk.
I'm not drunk.
Mask.
Yes, you are.
That's really cool.
Just jealous. What are you jealous of? You're just jealous
your
because
kid's
I'm
gonna die.
boning this woman 30 years younger than me. Get him, Tom. I guess this was pre 911, wasn't it?
I don't know. I guess.
it was. I don't remember when
I was
911
going to say,
was.
you told me I wasn't around.
Oh no, because I think I heard the other day that the reason. Okay, so the reason we have 911 is because Canada did it first, and they did 999.
Yeah.
But they had rotary phones,
That's too-
so it took too long to dial it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So
Take a
America took a note and did 911, so it'd be a lot quicker to dial. So that was still with dial phones,
Way to
which we've
upstage
seen.
Canada.
Yeah. I don't remember the time frame. Oh, she running and a bouncing. I hear you, Tom.
again,
Tight sweaters.
more running down hallways, set the creepy music.
80s tight sweaters. Went to high school with a girl who would wear sweaters like that all the time. And she was very buxom.
Nice.
And we were sitting in English class one day, and I turned and looked at her, and I said, Kim, you know, we all see the sweaters. We know why you wear them all the time.
You're affecting my education.
But my dad always told me that more than a mouthful was a waste. And she says, yeah, but it makes you want to come back for more. And I never said another word.
Oh my God, that's great.
But it was a sweater just like that.
She knew what she was doing.
Yeah, she knew exactly what she was doing.
So let's take a second and talk a little bit about Tommy. I know about Tommy Lee Wallace. This is his first directing job. He had worked with Carpenter, I think, a production designer on Halloween and Halloween 2 and The Fog.
And he played.
I think he's a pirate in The Fog.
He was
maybe?
in Michael Myers' mask for a little bit.
Okay, yeah. I think he was one of the Michael Myers.
Yeah. This is almost like The Matrix. With all the Agent Smiths.
I can see that, yeah. Yeah.
Just they look different instead of all of them being Hugo Weaving.
They're all in those gray suits and the 80s haircuts. And Tommy went on to direct another sequel, horror sequel, Fright Night 2. And very popular TV miniseries, It.
Yeah, the original Tim Curry.
Again, picking up John Carpenter's sloppy seconds. He directed Vampires, Los Muertos, which I never saw. I think it did not look great. I wasn't a big fan of John Carpenter's Vampires, so. And apparently, according to IMDb, he's got a new film coming out called Helliversity, which does not, which sounds great. Yeah. Uh-oh. Tom's messing with all the buttons. I like that. He has no clue what it does, but he's going to push all the
Just hit
buttons. It's like my kids. I have my computer. So this is why this is what happens when I'm editing podcasts at home. My kids come into the room. They just start pushing all the buttons. My son's the worst of all. I'll have the computer on my lap and he'll come up and just start smashing away. Uh-oh. All the little Stonehenge microchips. Oh, now you're all dead. With the Celtic.
Is a quarter
magic.
falling out of them?
Huh?
Well, like quarters were falling out of them.
That's like the little...
Oh, the little...
those
the lucky...
That's where they...
Yeah.
That's the final processing. Is the little...
The little
buttons.
symbol. Yeah, symbol. Symbol. Talking's hard today. Picked a great day to do a podcast. And that.
You know, another good 80s horror film with Tom Atkins we should do on the podcast is Creepshow. Have we done Creepshow? Mm-mm. We should do that one. That's a good one. Well, I enjoyed it, at least I'll
And
say
very
that.
much in the same vein.
Yeah.
I mean, all of these. This, The Fog, Prom Night.
I love that. Mr. Cochran realizes Dr. Chalice just screwed him with his evil plan, and instead of like screaming "no," he just gives a little clap, like, "Yeah, you got me."
Original Wicker Man is like this.
Who's that guy? Some really weird special effects here. I don't know what's going on, but Mr. Cochran just disappeared.
And now the monolith is exploding electronics, even though it's a rock.
You think it's rock?
And now there's a very Dan Sellers sort of fire going on.
Yeah.
Burning stuff.
A very real-looking fire is what you mean to say? A very real fire is destroying Santa Mira. So our heroes have escaped, but maybe not for long. Because turns out, she's a robot. She got replaced.
What? How was it like to have sex with a robot?
It's a little mechanical.
Where'd she get replaced at?
I don't know.
They just switched it.
I don't know.
They don't tell it.
I think she went missing for a period of the film in that place.
When she was locked up.
She got captured, and then she mysteriously comes back. That's a cool effect. Her headless robot body.
I have to look up see.
Oh no, the detached robot arm is choking him. I love this.
For this.
That's so cool.
Well, I mean, it's just going to crawl back.
Yeah, you better run. You can't just... Yep.
It's her arm, too.
It kind of feels like Evil Dead 2 picks up this ball and takes it to the touchdown and with the detached hand.
Okay.
Oh, God, there's the headless robot body.
Another jump scare.
And he's thinking, would I?
William Aldrich was an assistant special effects guy who's went on to do a bunch of big stuff. Mm-hmm. Thought I recognized his name. He was a pyrotechnician on The Fifth Element. John Bellew.
So now we're back to where it all began at the gas station.
That damn song.
With the same gas station attendant.
Don't you understand that? Well, say it's a bomb, then say whatever you want. Say whatever you like, just get it off the air. Please.
I wonder who's he talking to? Who can you call
I can't prove it.
to convince to turn off?
Believe me. Take it off the air now, please. You've got to at least.
Excuse the interruption. We're having technical problems.
Hey, it worked.
Please stand by.
Oh no!
It's just on another channel.
Oh no! Oh no!
It's on every channel. But they get it cut off all the channels. Do you know how impossible it would be to get that done at that day and time? Because it wasn't like a big network. I mean, NBC was a network, but they didn't control everything. Everything was independently owned.
Yeah.
So you can't. You would have had to call each individual TV station to get this done, and you can't just call one person. And then they just left it open.
Somebody at your door. Do you hear that? Somebody's knocking on the door.
Is there?
Oh, it's trick or treaters.
This early?
Well, here, just stay seated. I'll get it. You got any candy?
No, we have some oranges. Don't you love the people that do oranges? Or fruit or grapes? Something like that.
Yeah, I'll get you some candy.
I just love it.
Doesn't have any.
I love it when Dan answers the door at my house, which he does quite frequently. So, it's kind of cool. Wait. We have a phone call. Hang on just a second. Wreak Havoc Film Buzz Podcast?
Turn off the podcast. Turn off the podcast.
What?
Tens of people will die.
Tens?
Tens of people,
Well,
tens of listeners will die.
Oh, well, okay. What's wrong? Are we?
They'll be bored to death.
They'll be bored to death.
Turn it off. Turn it off.
Okay,
Turn it off.
we'll pause and work. Okay, we'll cut it off. Thank you. We may have lost Tom Atkins.
Yeah, here you go, brats. No candy for you. It's a little too early. It's still 7.
That was weird. I think
kids coming to
Tom
trick-or-treating?
Atkins called.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Man, he's old.
I think he was hitting on my wife.
Well, that sounds about right. That's right.
Or your wife.
That's right.
That probably the time frame would be a little bit closer there.
Oh, man.
And it's very close to Halloween, but not quite Halloween.
Theme and
Yeah.
end credits.
Okay, so the funny thing, this kid listed his little buddy, this
buddy.
Bradley Schachter or whatever. It's funny. His IMDb page is his picture with the mask on, squeezing his face. That's the
his claim
only
to
thing.
fame.
Yeah, that's his.
He probably does conventions with a mask.
Probably.
I'm the kid.
That would be see literally.
Oh, that's
and
great.
that's his IMDb picture, so he pays for that.
Bless his heart.
See what the last thing he's been in. In 1990, he played a parking attendant in Fear. Really kind of creepy movie. Have you seen that with Mark Wahlberg and?
I saw it back then.
Oh nope, wrong Fear.
I was about to say 90s a little
This
bit.
is
early
Alice
for that one.
Sheedy's Fear.
This is a different one.
Alice Sheedy and Lauren Hutton and Michael O'Keefe. Stan Shaw. Huh?
So hey, real
Wrong
quick,
Fear.
let's talk about the Halloween franchise real quick.
Okay.
Since we've already discussed Halloween 2.
Halloween 3.
Halloween 3 is 1982. Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, is 1988.
6 years.
Yeah, good little break there. I think they were really not sure whether they could continue after the disappointment of this film, or how they should continue. I think Carpenter pretty much just lost that battle of we're going to have a different story with each film. Really, that's something set up for television, but in a series of movies, I like the idea, the ambition of it. It just he had such a hit with the original, he couldn't get past it. So they finally had to come back to what the audience wanted, and that was, I'm pretty sure, Mustafa Akkad's doing, or his,
Was this New Line? Did they do this? No.
No,
New Line was Nightmare. The first one was independent.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder.
The new ones are Universal. I don't know who released this.
Okay, continue.
I think Universal released this.
Let's see if I can find it.
But anyways, Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, the next year, 1989, which really those are two back-to-back films that really can be seen together. And then you have...
Got really weird.
Yeah, it did. You think this one's weird? Go watch that shit. And that's with Michael Myers. It got really weird. And it just gets even weirder with Halloween 6 in 1995, The Curse of Michael Myers. So you're really getting into Pink Panther territory here with your sequels.
And it gets really weird with him having superpowers and
and a secret organization that's protecting him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't dig it. I don't think a lot of fans do either. I mean, I could be wrong.
I'm trying to think if it was 5 or 6 I saw in the theater, and it was just like, is it this one or is it Friday 13th where the lightning hits the grave and he comes back to life?
Friday 13th
Okay,
part
sorry.
6.
Sorry, wrong franchise.
But it's almost as silly as that.
Yeah. Don't she actually cut him up in 5 into little pieces, Danielle Harris, or is that Friday 13th also?
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure it's 5 that they cut him up in little pieces.
It's either 4 or 5. He's in jail and someone breaks him out of jail.
Yeah.
The secret society.
Yeah.
Yeah. Part 6 stars Paul Rudd as Tommy.
Yeah.
Wallace,
I
the
forgot
kid
about that.
from the first one, who is now back in the new one, but we'll get to that in a minute. And you've shared some screen time with him, maybe.
Yeah, but it's not played by Paul Rudd.
Oh, I know, but it's the same character.
Yeah.
Then they had a hard reboot, the first hard reboot. Well, I guess Halloween 3 would be the first hard reboot.
Yeah.
The next hard reboot was Halloween H2O,
Which is a good movie.
which is not bad.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Brings
And-
Jamie Lee back.
In 1998, which is 20 years after the original, bring Jamie Lee back, and she has a really great Laurie Strode in that one.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of the beginning of Laurie Strode, the badass, the almost Sigourney Weaver kind of character.
Yeah.
Instead of just being run around find a girl.
Yeah. So, but it also kind of breaks continuity with the other sequels, and is just a direct sequel to the first film.
Yeah,
Maybe the second film. I don't know.
I think the second.
It could be a sequel to this Halloween too.
I think it's a sequel to Halloween.
And then 2002, they really fumbled the ball with the success of H2O with Resurrection. Am I wrong?
Tyra Banks and who was the
Rhymes.
Busta Rhymes.
And Jamie Lee's in that one too.
And Busta Rhymes actually beats up Michael Myers, and I'm just like, oh no, we've jumped the shark here.
We have.
I mean, Michael gets him back, but he literally beats up with kung fu grip.
Yeah,
Busta Rhymes beats
which
Michael
is exactly what the audience wants to see. So, 2007, you have the remake, which, you know what? If they're going to drop the ball that bad with the 2002 film, it's ready for a remake. A lot of fans were not happy about the remake, but honestly, what else are you going to do at that point? You either stop making the movies or you do something different.
My opinion of the zombie movies is this. I hate the fact that we have to explain why everybody's a villain now. Mm-hmm. They can't just be evil, which is what Loomis describes Michael Myers as in the first movie.
Just evil.
Just evil.
Yeah.
And that kind of explains everything. We shouldn't have to have a reason why he's evil.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know if they ever really explain why he's evil, because that kid's bad. But I mean, it tries to explain it off, and we don't need that.
So
I don't need to know why Vader's evil. I don't need to know why Michael Myers.
And this is a discussion we've had on this podcast multiple times, but even about this film. But you know, the first half of the remake is like his background.
Yeah.
And the second half is a remake of Halloween.
Yeah.
It's cool how that's done.
Zombie did as good as he can with what he had.
Yeah.
And I'm not a super Rob Zombie filmmaker fan.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm not. So
I'm not either. I mean, some of his
House
films
of
are pretty
Thousand
fun
Corpses
to
is
watch.
okay. Lords of Salem's terrible.
See, I actually like Lords of Salem.
I don't know.
I like Lords of Salem. Probably one of my favorite films of his is Halloween 2. That's one of the best ones.
I haven't seen.
You got to watch that one.
Oh, really?
I'm telling you, it's so different from anything else in the Halloween franchise. It's so standalone, even from the first one.
I need to watch it. I have it. I just haven't watched it.
It features Joan
Maybe I'll try to
Schermeyer,
get
our pal,
yeah.
who gets I'm not going to say,
Yeah.
but I'm not a huge Rob Zombie fan either. But I one of the things that's funny that I don't think we've talked about on this show is the sort of faux feud between him and John Carpenter, which Rob Zombie plays up. That he did not give his blessing to make the remake, and then John Carpenter, the way he tells it is, I don't care. Yeah, sure. I never told him.
Carpenter doesn't seem like he's.
I never told him no, or I never told him that I didn't care.
Yeah.
So they both, in retrospect, have two different versions of how that went down. So a lot of fans, I don't think, liked Halloween 2 because it was just so.
Yeah, it was panned pretty good.
It was so different and off the wall. I think it gives a really great take on Laurie Strode. To me, it's really worth the watch.
It put Danielle Harris back in the limelight too.
Yeah.
And she's ridden that wave.
She's got a
big
good
time now.
Got a good She's got a better part in the second one than she does in the first one. which I think, if you get a chance, definitely watch it.
And Tyler Mane makes a very good.
Yeah, he does. He does
'cause that
pretty.
dude's huge.
Yeah, and that's a good. That Michael Myers is just, it's different. And you know what? If you've already had 8 films, do something different. I'm fine with it. And again, I'm with you on the whole. We don't need to explain it, but I'd rather them see something different than the same old shit over, just rehashed.
Yeah, I mean,
Because we've already got it. We don't need to see it again. So then we had a good long break for like 9 years of Halloween films, and they finally came back. David Gordon Green and Danny McBride approached John Carpenter and got his blessing, got him on board, and they made the new films Halloween, which totally becomes a new series of sequels. So,
it's going to be a trilogy.
If you look online, you can find a diagram of how the sequels break down.
Yeah.
Because you have to have a diagram to really understand it, because it makes no sense. But Halloween 2018 is a direct sequel to the original Halloween.
Yeah.
And like Sammie
everything
said,
between it.
Yeah, it forgets everything.
Everything.
And I'm fine with that. It makes sense. And like Sammie said, this is going to be the first of a new trilogy of films. So this year should have been last year. This year you have Halloween Kills.
God, I filmed that so long ago.
Yeah, which
almost 2 years now.
The trailer looks awesome, and I would play it, but we're getting kind of long in the episode here. The trailer features, you could see for Halloween Kills, the 3 masks from Halloween 3 in this.
I think Jason Biggert's in that scene.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. With the mask. He plays a trick-or-treater.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, an adult trick-or-treater.
Oh, that's cool. And they plan on wrapping things up, I guess, next year or the year after with Halloween Ends.
I haven't seen the casting call for it, so they haven't started filming yet.
The original plan was to film it all back to back, but COVID's got in the way and it's really screwed the... Yeah. So they haven't even started filming.
But Jamie's not getting any younger. They need to do it soon. And
it all takes place on one night. Just like, Halloween 2, the original Halloween 2. So yeah, Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends is all 40 years later.
It was a very surreal moment for me because they filmed this one in Wilmington. They filmed Halloween the 2018 in Charleston. They moved to Wilmington for the new one. I don't know that they were supposed to do the last one in Wilmington, but there's been talk that they're going to move it back to Charleston as well. Danny McBride's doing a lot up and down the East Coast.
Oh, yeah.
Which is great.
And David Gordon Green.
Yeah. So I don't know, I don't know when that's going to happen or how it's going to happen or anything like that. But it was a very surreal moment to walk down the street in downtown Wilmington and turn the corner and just see Haddonfield Memorial Hospital.
I bet that was
when
cool
you turn.
shit.
Yeah, it was cool as shit.
Yeah,
I'd love to have gotten a picture, but of course that was persona non
forbidden.
grata. Yeah, until the director goes, everybody get their phones out, and we were all going, what?
We can't.
We're not supposed to. He said, don't forget about the rules. Get your phones out. And I'm sure the producers were like, no, we're going to have pictures of everything else.
That's so
cool. I mean, you literally could get kicked off set if you had your phone out.
Would you have, I don't know, what's appropriate for you to say about one of the scenes you were in? Can you say anything about it? Should you say anything about it?
I mean, I'm sure it doesn't give any
You see a lot of it in the
spoilers.
trailers.
Yeah. It doesn't, there's a mob scene where the entire town is like finally had it, and they just want to see Michael dead.
Which I think is pretty realistic. If that were to happen in real life, I think the whole town would be pissed off.
And it was really
about
cool because he got us fired up.
Yeah.
The assistant, the AD, was. Just on the spur of the moment, he was like, hey, start chanting this and start chanting that. And, we would all, there was 300 extras there that day.
Wow. That's awesome.
But luckily, friend of ours, Robin Paris, was there playing a deputy, as she normally does. And she was like, "Hey, kind of work your way down to me, and you'll lay it in pretty good, and see if we can't, see if the camera doesn't catch it." So
That's cool.
Hopefully, you'll see us fighting, pretty good.
Very good.
So
Well, I'm super excited for it.
my head makes the trailer. The top of my
Yeah,
head.
it does. Yeah.
Top of my head makes the trailer. Zach said you see my head full on in what he saw. Now whether that makes it into the
So
real
he saw like an
movie.
extended cut at CinemaCon,
Yeah.
right?
Whether it's in it in
Well,
the
if you're
final.
in that, I would imagine you're probably in the full.
I would think so.
Let's hope so.
And I stand out pretty good anyway. And
Well,
I was tall, so like we're standing in a crowd, and Tommy Doyle was played by Anthony Michael Hall, and we're standing maybe 6-7 people apart, and he's a pretty good sized guy too. So I just turn and look, and he turns and looks at me, and we're just looking over top of everybody's heads, and we kind of make eye contact and nod, So that's cool. Yeah.
I was telling my wife about it because we were talking. She likes horror films too, and so we were discussing things that are coming out. I was like, "Oh, the new Halloween's coming out," and I was like, "It's got, Jamie Lee Curtis. It's got the original guy who played Sheriff Brackett.
Yeah.
It's got the original Lindsay from the original film.
Yeah.
It's got Anthony Michael Hall." She's like, "I don't know who that is." I'm like, "Weird Science." Anyways,
Yeah.
it's got Sammy fucking Castle. She went, "Oh shit, I can't go see this now." I'm like, "You're gonna love it."
Just briefly.
I'm gonna tell her that you get stabbed in the face by Michael Myers.
Yeah.
She'll be like, "I'm there."
That'd be great. Willie Razor, from what I understand, gets a pretty good.
Oh, that's great.
A pretty good scene with. I would imagine he's probably playing an orderly or something, but supposedly he gets a pretty good scene with Jamie Lee Curtis. So.
He plays some handsome dude.
Yeah. Willie.
Well, okay, that'll do it for our Halloween 3 Season of the Witch episode. I could sit here all day and talk about the Halloween franchise. I love those films. I'm so excited for this
As
new
do
one.
I.
So I guess we will have some more horror films this in October. I'm gonna probably put this one out before October just so we can promote the film festival. But yeah, we'll do it right this year. We'll get some good horror films. Maybe Creepshow. That sounds like a good one.
Sounds like a good one.
So, all right. Don't forget the 7th annual Wreak Havoc Horror Film.
7th annual Wreak Havoc Horror Film Fest.
Yeah, October 1st and 2nd. So, all right, guys.
Come see me at Spooky Woods this
Spooky
year.
Woods, yeah.
I have a new character. Well, I have 3 characters I play, but I have a new character that's ought to be a little fun.
I go every year at least once or twice, and it's always a great time. Kersey Valley Spooky Woods.
Supposedly this year we have 30-foot flying demons with chainsaws
Oh my God, that sounds great.
or something like that.
Can't wait.
Yeah, I don't. And they built like 3 new sets, and
Oh,
they've
that's
been
awesome.
working hard down there.
Awesome. That sounds great. I can't wait to do that. All right. Well, only way to end this episode I can think is with the best song ever. Happy, happy Halloween,
Oh, God.
Halloween, Halloween, happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
Happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
It's almost time, kids. The clock is ticking. Be in front of your TV sets for the Horror-thon. And remember the big giveaway at 9. Don't miss it. And don't forget to wear your masks. The clock is ticking. It's almost time.
Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween,